in the person of Senator Ojudu. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, my Speaker in the House of Representatives, the representative of the Senate President and Chairman, Senate Committee of Diaspora, Senator Ajibola Bashiru, representative of the Governor of Ekiti, Dr. Fayemi, Honorable Femi Odere, my sister, Honorable Abike Dabiri of NIDCOM, Chairperson NIDCOM, and the mother of Diaspora. Mr. Dr. Mohammed Lekki, National Commissioner for INEC. At this point, please kindly allow me to stand on existing protocol. But before I go on, I must ask the audience to please give a round of applause to Mr. Adi Omoli. He has hounded me. He has hounded the whole of House of Representatives. He has a passion, and he has put his money where his mouth is. Please, a round of applause. Because like Honorable Abike said, he put all this together, all by himself, with his team. He has a team of people working with him. So please, let's acknowledge him. I'm glad to be in your midst this day, to be part of this important workshop put together by the Nigerian Diaspora Voting Council. I also take this opportunity to commend them. And I'm making it an issue of commendation because for many years we've been talking about Nigerians voting, Nigerians in diaspora voting. I was once a Nigerian in diaspora and I have been back home for about 30-something years or more, and it has taken us that long to get to this. So we must commend the Diaspora Voting Council. Their efforts is unbelievable. As we all know, just to mention off the cuff, Nigerians in diaspora played a major role and are a major force in the development of Nigeria. The World Bank estimated that global remittances alone grew by 10% from $633 billion in 2017 to $689 billion in 2018. When you look at that number, you know it's an astronomical sum that's coming into this country from diasporans. So diasporans should have the opportunity to determine the leadership of a nation where they're investing so much of their hard-earned money. In Africa, Nigeria is in contest with Egypt on who sends more money back home. And we will get to the bottom of that because you all know that at this moment in time we have a joint task committee ongoing investigating the funds coming in from diaspora, from Nigerians abroad. And what is very important is for you to know that we're doing this as a House of Representatives under the leadership of Mr. Speaker, because diasporans are indeed very, very important to us. They're a very, very, very valuable sector. Also, I must give kudos to Nigerians across the world. Why? There are a lot of nations where you have their people leave and don't look back. Once they're gone, they cut off all ties to their nation. But here we have you. We have Nigerians in diaspora who go away, create the life they want for themselves, but don't forget home. Keep coming home, keep investing in home. We appreciate you, more kudos to you, and believe me, I know for a fact that this assembly, the Night Assembly, is going to give you all the support that's necessary to achieve what needs to be achieved. According to World Bank research and analysis, interviews with diaspora groups and individuals across the world, it has shown that granting voting rights to diasporans is an important means of encouraging greater engagement with their origin countries. You already have engagement, so we're looking to get greater engagement. Our Nigerians in diaspora already have a very strong sense of belonging, and with that sense of belonging, we can partner and take our nation to the next level. To date, almost a dozen African countries, for example, Burkina Faso, Mali, South Africa, allow their citizens living abroad to cast their votes. They allow them to retain the right to vote in national elections. For example, in the case of South Africa, and US diasporans, you go to your embassy when it's time to vote after you've been duly registered through an agreed registration process by law, and you go to your embassy during the time of voting and you are able to cast your vote. In 1988, the Tunisians abroad were allowed to vote in the elections in their country in 1988. Ghana and Morocco are in the process of giving their diasporans the same rights. In Ghana, a human rights high court has ordered that the Electoral Commission to take all necessary steps to enable Ghanaians living abroad vote in their upcoming 2020 elections. Late last year, Namibia and Togo joined the growing number of African countries allowing diaspora voting. Yes, it is true. A lot has to go into making this decision and getting it right. And as you heard a few minutes ago, my Senate colleague in Diaspora, the Senate Chairman Senate Committee on Diaspora, made it very clear that there are a lot of peculiarities. So each country is unique. But if we all put our minds to this, that this is going to be achieved, we can achieve this in a proper, meaningful, and lasting manner. There is a very urgent need to sit down and have stakeholder sessions like we're here to do today. Because there are many questions to be answered. It's not just, like he said, to come up with a law. There are very fundamental things here because Nigeria is a unique country. And let's be true to ourselves. We have issues bordering on ethnicity. So now, let me give an example. How do we intend to educate our over 18-year-olds, the youths in the diaspora, who are Nigerians by parentage, children whose parents are Nigerians, but the children know nothing about Nigeria. But they do carry Nigerian passports and they are Nigerians. But they've lived all their lives abroad. They've come to Nigeria on holiday at the time during the Muslim festivals and the Christian festivals for 2 weeks on holiday. Do they know the true Nigeria? Or do they know the Nigeria of social media? How do we address those issues? Because once we open up voting in diaspora, those children will vote. And then what? I have met a lot of those children. And I know I wouldn't want some of them voting in Nigerian elections because they do not have a clue about what happens in our country, Nigeria. We have questions. Now, let me ask us on another question. A Nigerian from Ondo, or let's say Kwara, or Kano, or Cross River, or Ebonyi, who grew up in Lagos and then relocates abroad, marries an American, and then they have children. Their children are indeed Nigerians, and they have a right to vote in Nigeria. But again, they only come home for 2 weeks in a year. Where do they vote? Where do they belong to? Do they belong to their father's ethnic state? Or do they belong to the state he lived in before he left the country at the age of 16 when he left? Because I left at the age of 16. And so let's assume I was a man, I get married, like the example I'm giving you. I have children. I was born in Lagos. I lived in Lagos till I left. I moved back to my state as an adult because I came back home about 30 years ago, I believe, or 20 years ago. But let's assume the children we're talking about never been to Nigeria, but they can cast a vote in the election. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. As Chairperson, House Committee on Diaspora Matters, on behalf of my fellow committee members, under the leadership of Right Honorable Speaker, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, let me assure you all, in spite of all the pros and cons of diaspora voting, let me assure you that these issues will be looked into by the Ninth Assembly. And I believe before the end of this Ninth Assembly, we will bring that bill back to the table in a proper format with all stakeholders involved. We will carry along all the arms of government because this is not at the table of the legislature alone. Judiciary must be able to give us legal advice. The executive, e.g., INEC, which reports to the executive, must be able to put in place what needs to be done to ensure the Nigerians in the diaspora can vote. The three arms of government intend from where we are sitting to work together, meaning we are willing and ready to work with the three arms of government to make sure that this becomes a reality. And not just a reality, it becomes a lasting reality. It is my desire that at the end of this workshop, every stakeholder will have something to cheer about and equally be pleased that the new dawn for diaspora citizens has begun. Amen. For every Nigerian has the voting right. Every Nigerian has a vote. Every Nigerian has the right to vote. I thank you all, and God bless Nigeria.